Miami falls to Syracuse 42-38. They're going to miss the ACC championship game. And as of right now, they are the first team out in the college football playoffs. It's very weird because if Clemson wins this weekend in the ACC championship game, that could possibly, I think, maybe bump Miami up, bump Alabama out, or it might bump both of them out and put Clemson in. We're all still learning here with the 12-team bracket, so please spare me if you are going for me in the comments. We see Alan just jumped in not too long ago, going to finish up this Miami-Syracuse segment, and then we will bring him in after we hit the sponsor break. But Miami falls to Syracuse again, 42-38. They're going to miss the ACC championship game, probably miss the playoffs in its entirety as well. And you got to ask, was this Miami's ending all along? Unfortunately, I do think so. Yes, it's the number one offense in the country. Yes, they have a Heisman candidate in Cam Ward who looks absolutely fantastic. Jacoby George, Damian Martinez, Isaiah Restrepo. But outside of that, there is no defense. Mario Cristobal goes up 21-0 unanswered, gives up 21 unanswered. Now, not Mario Cristobal specifically, but his team was outscored 42-17 after you're up by 3 possessions in Syracuse's house. And we saw Miami struggle all year against the Cows, against the Virginia Techs, against the Georgia Techs when they ended up eventually losing, against the multiple stretches around the Cal and Virginia Tech games where they weren't playing well and where they weren't able to where they weren't able to, confidently win these games and convince others, clearly not the College Football Playoff Committee because of where they had them when the rankings came out. But I do feel like this was Miami's ending all along. And I'm not trying to be a Miami hater. I like a lot of the players that they have. I like them as a team, and I think they'll have a lot of guys playing on Sundays. But when it came down to it, the Georgia Tech game was hideous. This game ended up being hideous as well. They played about 6 ugly games this year and only came out with a 10-2 record. So I guess all things considered, they do have something special over there in Miami. I do actually think that they have something special over there, but we'll wait to see what happens next year as Cam Ward's going to go to the NFL draft. You look at the box score and you immediately know, okay, another shootout for Miami, and Cam Ward wasn't able to save them this time. Again, the offense wasn't able to save them this time again. And knowing Miami blew a 21-0 lead on the road is insane as they're outscored 42-17 the rest of the way. It seemed like the top offense in the country was going to punch its way to the ACC championship game. They were steamrolling an inferior team to them. Maybe they finally got it right. It was quick. It was early. Cam Ward, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns in the first half. George, Restrepo, Martinez were just getting whatever they wanted offensively. And after the first quarter, it was all over for Miami, really. Syracuse scored on 5 of their last 7 drives to win this football game. Miami's offense goes absolutely cold. Syracuse comes back with their own 21 unanswered, like I said earlier, showing the country that Miami's defense has been bad all year long. It's regressed and deteriorated every single week. The secondary was absolutely suspect against Pena, LaQuint Allen, Meeks. Meeks himself had 2 one-on-one touchdown catches against 2 different defenders. So he was cooking half the secondary, essentially. The game was a kind of a great watch, to kind of see the back and forth, and then these teams just in a real shootout to decide an ACC title game, which Clemson and SMU are going to end up playing in. Syracuse fumbles, Miami turns around, they return the favor, gift wrap Syracuse to scoop and score, which kind of felt like the difference in this game for them for sure. That one mistake, and outside of that, Miami only got sacked 1 time. Miami only had 2 tackles for loss on them as a team. So, you look at those stats and you're like, damn, Miami kind of held up, except on the defensive side of the ball. I thought both of the secondaries in this game were pretty bad as well. There were multiple PIs, just big play after big play from each quarterback through the air. It was kind of a Kyle McCord, Cam Ward duel to end the season possibly for both of these teams. And Miami just couldn't get a stop to save its life after kicking the field goal to make it 42-38. Syracuse just literally ran the ball down Miami's throat the entire last drive for the win. Again, just 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss against Miami. So you kind of feel like Miami controlled the line of scrimmage when you look at that aspect. They even had 11 pass plays that went for 15 yards or more and 3 run plays that went for at least 15 yards as well. Miami averaged 5.4 yards per play in the second quarter after averaging 10 yards per play in the first quarter. Third quarter was a little better. They get up to 6.3 yards per play then. Miami was 1 of 3 on third down in the second quarter, and then they also couldn't sustain drives as Syracuse held the ball for 9 minutes in that period. And that second quarter was kind of pivotal for Miami as you talk about some of these numbers that they weren't really performing well on. Outgained 153-65 in the second quarter, and Syracuse just really started to get to some momentum there. And of course, they go on and they win the game by 4 in the big upset. One last question here for me is, why didn't Damian Martinez get fed more? He had 10 carries for 84 yards in this game. He had 4 carries for 36 yards in the first half. Now, I know Cam Ward was airing it out again. Restrepo, Jacoby George were really doing their thing. But you got to be able to run the ball to kind of slow it down, take the breath out of that defense. I mean, I don't really remember Syracuse extremely stacking the box like that for a guy to come out and have 10 carries for 84 yards. I mean, it just doesn't really resonate the best for me when I think about it. But Miami falling to Syracuse, very unfortunate for them. They will miss the ACC title game. I do feel like this was Miami's, kind of fate all along. Cam Ward can only play Superman for so long. There's the rumors of this is a classic Mario Cristobal choke job. I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but when you're up 21-0, favored by a lot, with a chance to get into the ACC title game and get a first round bye, and you're outscored 42-17 to end the game, I don't know. I'll just leave it at that.